Right, here we go. I think I might, mate, yeah. I'll go home first. I've got to drop some things home to Simon. And I'll probably go in.
Might be a handy field goal in about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate, Ray O'Donnell's Johnny on the spot. Penalty counts, everything. We're ready to go in case of a draw.
Just confirming that Ray will give us those 3-2-1 pretty soon. 10 minutes from the end, Caddy. 1, 2, 3. No? No changes to either side for the second half of this first quarter-final of the Commonwealth Bank Cup for 1988. And Wayne Pearce, I just wonder the importance of that drop goal by David Baysari, what magnitude that will take on 30 minutes from now.
As you pointed out earlier, David, it's a lot easier to kick one-pointers early in the match. There's less pressure from the charge down, and it's going to be very valuable, I'm sure.
Well, Russell Wire fielding it. Oh, that's a great break from the kick-off. He's taken play beyond the 22. They're on the move. Finikifalou gets towards halfway. Well, what a confidence boost by the Campbelltown side straight from the kick-off in the second half. There's Munro running wide, got the pass away. And finally, they take play beyond the halfway line. There it is, taken up by McRae. Well, what a bright start by Campbelltown.
Started like a house on fire. There was nothing happening in the first 30 minutes of this game, and now it looks like it's all about to happen.
Well, the lost possession by Munro has given it back to Parramatta. That should be a penalty. So nothing going right at the early stage for Parramatta in the second half. Let's have a look at this again. I'd say, Bill, that the referee probably called hell.
Well, he must have asked him to play the ball. He wasn't touched. He was entitled to get up and run with it, unless Chris Ward had said that he had to play it.
So Campbelltown immediately inside the attacking quarter line. It's Warner with the tap restart. McRae goes the blind. But some solid defence by Parramatta. 10 metres out from their own goal line. Warner goes to dummy half again. Finikifalou. In goes Morchard. Solid bit of defence by the Parramatta prop forward. Campbelltown line deep in attack. They're only 8 metres short of the goal line. Finikifalou, the switch of play, nowhere to go. The gap open and closed. Fuller from dummy half. Grosvenor. Knocked back by Keenan, picked up by Grosvenor, flick pass this time for Conroy. Conroy only 5 metres short of the line. Good covering tackle by McCaffrey. Final tackle for Campbelltown. There's the kick from Fuller, the rebound. Grosvenor knocked down by Parramatta, and they come up with possession of the ball.
Well, there might have been a knock on him there. It was a quick sideways pass by St Greg's. I thought that there was a hand from Parramatta. Marist came out, but that mustn't have been.
Chris Warren down in seeing back play. Donnelly. Saman went on the outside of his man, and he's beaten him. He stood up. Wild takes play beyond the 22 and is still going. Well, quite in contrast, Wayne, to the first half. We've seen 2 or 3 clean breaks already.
Yes, that could be a sign of things to come. It's only been individual errors too, individual missed tackles. Overall, the intensity's still there, and they're still not making all that many handling errors, and it's going to be a good half, I'm sure.
Well, here's the break. It's by Fitzgerald. Chris Warren is still receiving attention. The Parramatta captain back near the goal line at the southern end of Parramatta Stadium. There's the kick from Baysari. Oh, that's a vital one for Parramatta. They'll get the feed. And look at Baysari urging on his charges. A tremendous kick in general play.
Yes, it was a good kick, this one, and we can see the winger, the number 2 there, Paul Wild, put his hands up to field it. unfortunately couldn't hold, and it's gone over the touchline, and Chris Warren making every effort, the hooker and course and captain of this side, to get to the scrum and try and come up with possession.
Well, there he goes, taking his place in the middle of the front row for Parramatta. They're only 8 metres out, 1-0 the scoreline, and they've won the scrum. That's Baisari, took on the defence himself. He's only 3 metres short of the goal line. Unan, the switch of play, it's for Warren. He saw the gap, but it closed very quickly. Over the top was McRae, smothering the ball. They move it again. Fitzgerald.
Got to get a little bit deeper here. They're just too flat out in the backs. They've got to give themselves the opportunity to move the ball.
Warren, Baisari, has he got the strength? He's over the goal line, has he got the ball down? Referee Chris Ward says he has. And it's 5-0 to Parramatta. No, he's awarded it. He finally had to get the advice of his touch judge on the far side. Baisari knew he had scored it. Let's have a look at it in replay.
Well, this is all individual strength. It really looked like the play was going to stop here when Baisari was hit. He spun through one tackle, beat another tackle, saw the line in front of him, reached out and got it there.
Once again, Parramatta are trying to attack around the rucks, down on the line. A bit of contortionism here from Baisari. He eluded 3 tacklers and stretched over the line. A bit of Brett Kenny involved there, I think.
So Baisari comes up so far with all the points for Parramatta. This is his first attempt of a goal kick. He turned in an outstanding performance here against St Patrick's Dundas a few weeks ago. I think from memory Billy kicked 6 from 7.
Yes, he's not a traditional kicker. He lays the ball down. We see most schoolboys these days like to kick around the corner, but he hits them very sweetly.
5-0 the scoreline. And Jason Tierney, the nose still bleeding very heavily. And I think he may have a fair bit of it on the front of Baisari's shorts too, by the look of that, Bill. So what a vital kick this is. 11 metres in from the eastern touchline. No breeze to affect this kick. Baisari moves in. He's got the height and distance, but it's waved away. And the scoreline at the Parramatta Stadium sees Parramatta Marist High leading St Gregory's Campbelltown to the tune of 5-0. So 6 minutes gone in this second half of the first quarter-final for 88. The try a moment ago by David Baisari has given the Parramatta side a 5-0 lead. And Russell Wire to get play back underway, driving it deep down inside the quarter. It's fielded by Donnelly with plenty of room to move, but he's wrapped up well and truly by Matt Munro. Baisari.
Just starting to come into his own, isn't he, Baisari? He had been quiet, and now he's looking to do things. He's trying to create and scheme from one off the ruck. He's going to be hard to stop.
Well, Jim Smith's on for the Campbelltown side. In 14 is Tierney, the one that's gone off. Wayne?
Yeah, sorry, David. Yeah, Jason Tierney has finally succumbed to that nasty nose gash, and Jim Smith is on in number 14.
So he battled on bravely, Tierney. Well, there's the replacement player. Normally a second row forward, but he's packed down in the front row. There's the scrum feed. And you notice that Finikipalua is now working the scrum for Campbelltown. Baisari. Oh, he hit the line hard, but good defence. He crept another 5 or 6 metres. There's Warren working the blind. It's Donnelly with room to move. Donnelly up towards the goal line, got the pass back in, but it's gone forward. They'll have to play the first infringement. What a good bust on the blind.
Yes, this is where Donnelly likes to run. Down the blind side, he had support there in his winger, Anthony House. Couldn't find him with a good pass. It was about knee height, and he knocked it on.
Scrum feed by Finikipalua. And they come up with the scrum win. Donnelly very quickly out of the scrum. Well, this game's come alive, Wayne.
It's as though we're watching a different match to the first half. Both sides are actually taking a lot more risks in this half, and it's opened the game right up.
There's Lovering running with great determination. Oh, that's That's a bad mistake by Campbelltown. Can Parramatta punish them now?
Well, that's been the story, hasn't it? They opened up so brightly, Campbelltown, in this second half, and then they made 3 critical mistakes. One of them's cost them a try, and the other 2 have put them in all sorts of trouble.
Fitzgerald to work the scrum inside. Oh, there's a good strike against the feed by Scott Warner. That's his second. There's Finikipaloo wrapped up in the middle of the ground by Unan.
That was his 3rd win against the head, and the opposing hooker, Chris Warren's, won 2. So both hookers doing a pretty good job against difficult odds.
Grosvenor. There's the chance go up from Campbelltown. They've had great support here. Can the 13 charges out there representing their school give them something to really cheer about? There's McRae, hit the advantage line strongly, stood in the tackle, wrapped up over the top, and he couldn't unload the pass. Warner for Munro. Oh, that's a great break by Munro. Stood up the fullback. Munro, has he got the legs? Oh, and the pass has gone astray. What a tremendous bust by the Campbelltown second rower. But he didn't have the pace to go on with it.
He did everything right. I just don't know whether he should have passed or not. There was a man with him. Munro was on the spot. Maybe he did take the right option and the support was covered. He pinned his ear back, had a crack on his own, but just couldn't quite go on with it.
Gee, the ears came back, Wayne, when he saw daylight.
He certainly showed some pace there, and he showed up the weakness around the rucks that's starting to develop in both sides in this half. I think they don't need to throw the ball around and take too many risks either side. Just attack around the edges of the ruck as Donnelly's doing here.
Well, Donnelly got the pass to Saman, came to Finikipaloo, and also Matthew Fuller came across in cover. But Parramatta on the charge now. There's the ball charged down. That will be a Parramatta feed.
I don't think it will. I think it'll be St Greg's feed. He didn't play at the ball.
Well, place come back on the Parramatta side of halfway. Yes, you're quite right, Bill. So it is St Gregory's feed. The referee, Chris Ward, not happy.
Every scrum now becomes vital, David. One you can win against the head here is just so much of a bonus. Things are starting to open up. Teams starting to get tired. And that's better than a scrum win.
Well, I think the 8 busloads of support from Campbelltown were shouted by the Parramatta support on that far side. Tremendous atmosphere here for this quarter-final.
Yes, it is. It's great, and I'm sure the boys are starting to lift now to the occasion and to the support for both teams.
Well, I'm sure that the representatives of the Commonwealth Bank, who never miss a match throughout the season, have warmed to this second half. They know that money is well spent in their sponsorship.
Yes, I know that John Coates and Alan Cole will be sitting back and thoroughly enjoying this one.
Morchard hit the line. Now they move it. Saman in from the right wing. Parramatta all actions go at the moment with that 5-point lead. 6 more to go for Parramatta. Fitzgerald, Morchard did well to hang on to it. Warren, will he use the blind? He goes the open and he spotted the gap. Cribbed about 8 or 10 metres and takes play inside the quarter line. Fitzgerald, Matthew Trout. A great bust by Trout. Got the pass away, but finally Parramatta go to ground. Now they move it again. Baisari, beautiful hands, but good defence. Donnelly, try. Oh, here's a try. Baisari in for his second, and that could be the ball game. Tremendous try by Parramatta Marist. And they lead by 9 points to 0. Let's watch it.
Well, this was a build-up of great pressure by Parramatta Marist. First of all, it was Donnelly. He hit the line. Munro held him in a tackle, but he was able to get his hands free back to his halfback, Fitzgerald. They simply had extras here. Baisari ran a great line into a space and stretched out for a terrific team try.
It started off with the great hands here from Baisari. Donnelly hit the line with enormous force. He had the strength to offload. The backs were there in their numbers. The halfback came around. That was Fitzgerald. He picked up Baisari again, and he thoroughly deserved his second try.
Well, I agree with you totally, Wayne. The try was conceived by this man in picture. Just magnificent hands. He showed in the earlier match that he has all the skills. That was just another indication of just how skillful a player he is. Then Billy backed up to do put the icing on the cake.
It can't be a fluke. He's done it on too many occasions.
And not only is he a good attacking player, he's shown that he is a more than capable defender as well.
Well, I think all the eyes now are on his goal-kicking skills. He's missed his only attempt so far. He did kick the earlier field goal. And with 17 minutes of play remaining in this quarter-final, an 11 points to 0 lead would take a lot of pulling back by Campbelltown, who are bunched inside the goal line at the northern end. They know they've got the job ahead of them now.
The next 5 minutes is the important time for them. They've got to hit back and hit back very quickly from that try.
Baisari moves in from the quarter line. That looks pretty good. The touch judges agree. So does the Parramatta support. And it's 11 points to 0 the scoreline. All points in this quarter-final have been scored by the Parramatta 5'8" David Baisari. 2 tries. He's converted one of them, and he dropped the first half field goal. Can Campbelltown come back and keep their hopes alive in 88? It's Donnelly that fields it and immediately drives play downfield. And it will find touch 10 metres short of halfway, or about 8 metres short. Wayne, finally this Campbelltown side will be made to make other changes.
Yes, I believe they've hit the panic button. They've taken off their front rower, John McRae, and he's been replaced by number 16, Shane Ellis. And number 3, Jason Kieran, who started on the bench, has replaced the hooker, Scott Warner.
Gee, that's a mighty hit from the 2 centres on the fullback wire. Lovering a dummy half. Floating pass. That's Keenan. Running sideways, and House comes in to wrap him up in the tackle. Canos came up with possession. He's lost it forward, and House is offside. The referee will play the knock on, though. Well, House could have easily been penalised on that occasion. I thought deliberately picked the ball up in an offside position. But the scrum feed by Finiki Palou. Campbelltown come up with it. Grosvenor. And gee, I tell you what, McCaffrey was quick out of the back of that scrum.
There's far too much tradition in this Campbelltown side for them to give up easily. They'll be throwing everything at Parramatta Marist now to come up with points.
So there's the kick for touch. They will begin this set of 6 from 11 metres inside Parramatta's end of the ground. And the tap restart by Kieran. Immediately on this time to the replacement player, Jim Smith. Kieran, a dummy half. He was originally chosen in this side, was a late withdrawal. That's the other replacement, Ellis. Finikapaloo for Grosvenor. They've got the numbers out wide. Grosvenor got through the gap, but it closed. And finally the man taking it to ground was Greg Keenan. Now they move again. Munro popped the pass out the back door.
Great
and the
try.
wing 3/4, Paul Weil linked up beautifully. First try under the posts for St Gregory's Campbelltown, and don't they love that in the stand?
Well, the crowd goes wild over that try, and so they should. It was a tremendous piece of football. First of all, it was full of it started. Stepped off the right foot, got a pass back to Munro, and he's had a great game for his side. And he just squeezed a pass out the back to his winger, Paul Wild. He'd come from nowhere, and pardon the pun, but the crowd was entitled to go wild.
Well, Parramatta here paid the price for sliding in defence. They didn't go up and kill their man. It was great work here by the skipper, Fuller. He offloaded well to Munro. Munro hit the line again. He offloaded the wing, and the winger was sniffing through the back line here, and he did well to score adjacent to the uprights.
So the fullback wire moves in. Up go the flags. Change to the scoreline. 5 points separating the two sides. Parramatta in the lead. And we've got 13 minutes of play remaining at the Parramatta Stadium. More changes, Wayne, as the pressure gets it more intense.
Yes, Anthony House has been replaced by Stephen Tobias, number 18 on the wing.
So Tobias will wear 18. And the restart of play, Baisari driving it very deep. Taken nicely in his own in goal by Wire. Well, he split them in the opening minute of the first half. Second half, can he do it again? Well, he does well to take it about 5 metres short of the quarter line. Well, they can't keep Paul Wild out of the action.
and Fuller's starting to come into his own now. He's taking the first pass off the ruck. We'll see him here take this one and directing traffic and doing it well. No, they've gone back for a clearing kick. They're looking for territorial gains now. Play Parramatta Marist back in their own half.
Wayne, you mentioned that you thought Campbelltown may have panicked a little bit with the replacements, but I just wonder what the influence of these fresh reserves may make in the final 12 minutes of this game.
Well, usually when you put on fresh reserves at this stage of a game, they certainly scramble a lot in defence, and their enthusiasm quite often rubs off, and we'll soon see if that happens.
Who plays the ball? There's Donnelly. They see him as the game breaker in this Parramatta pack. Warren for Baysari. He'll turn them around again. That's an excellent kick for touch. And that's put Parramatta back on the attack.
Well, a great kick here. The defensive line came up quick. Baysari didn't have much space to put it in, but he simply tucked it in behind the line, and that was a terrific 40-metre gain, and one that they needed desperately.
Just a reminder that at the end of this telecast we'll be awarding the Adidas Man of the Match Award. 3-2-1, and those players keep their hopes alive for the ultimate award, the Adidas Prize on finals night here at the Parramatta Stadium on May 25 as they move it again. Lovering, he got it out to Keenan. Keenan taken 10 metres out from his own 22. Lovering and Campbelltown on the boil. Finikifalou broke the first line up towards halfway. Beautiful pass, it's away now, and Keenan streaking for the line. Can the defence get there? It does. A last-ditch tackle.
Second rower on a centre. That was a terrific tackle. Great cover defence.
But Campbelltown on the boil. Munro for the line. This time he can't unload the pass. But Parramatta with their backs to the wall. Here's a chance. Lovering. He's under the post, but did he lose it? Referee Chris Ward looks at his touch judge again, and that's right under the posts. This will be worth looking again.
Well, a very difficult one here for Chris Ward to adjudicate on. Once again, it was Fuller. He skipped out of dummy halves, got it onto Lovering. Lovering reached out. He got the ball down. That's a try and a good decision.
The problem here with Parramatta again was they didn't go forward in defence. They were prepared to slide, and it was certainly a try. Good try.
Well, what a moment for this young fellow, Simon Lovering. He played in the side last year. He knew the disappointments of missing out on the semi-final. I don't think he wanted to bow out the quarterfinals in '88.
Still a long way to go yet.
Well, this is a very interesting move because Wire was the man that knocked the first one over. Goal-kicking responsibilities have been handed over. And it's straight between the uprights. So for the first time in this quarter-final, St Gregory's in the lead by 12 points to 11. And look at the support of Campbelltown. And could Jason Conroy be the hero with that conversion? It's 12-11, a Parramatta change, Wayne.
Yet another change, David. Paul, it's a great break.
There goes Wire, over halfway. Yes, Wayne.
David, and yet another change. Paul Shan, who made that great covering tackle just a few moments ago, has been replaced by number 15, Matthew Cunningham.
So Cunningham on the field for Parramatta, and Campbelltown have absolutely gone wild here. 12-11, what a fight back. They were down by 11 points to 0. Two converted tries in the space of 5 minutes have kept their hopes alive in '88. Smith wrapped up 5 metres out. Finikifalou, darting run. Well, they thought about the drop goal. It wasn't on. Final tackle, it could still happen. Kieran, a dummy half. Fuller. Lovering. Keenan. And he's given possession away. So play just outside the 22, 7 minutes of play remaining, 1 point the difference. Campbelltown in the lead.
Not playing with the discipline you'd expect here, Parramatta Marist. They really need to stick to their guns, just produce the things that have stood them in good stead so far in the competition, hit the line hard and wait for something to happen. They've got enough ability for that.
Well, let's see what they can come up with. Kieran, Fuller. It goes out through Grosvenor, Lovering. He started to come into his own in the second half as well. Fuller couldn't keep his footing. 6 minutes remaining. A place in the semi-final for 88 at stake. And only 1 point separates the two sides. Kieran, back it goes. Munro off the left foot. Oh, it's still alive, this ball. It's in the in goal. Well, the replacement player, Tobias, is wrapped up in his own in goal.
Couldn't have been a worse result, that one, for Parramatta Marist. It wasn't a good kick from St Gregory's. They went back to field it, but couldn't get it out of the in goal, and now they've got to restart with a line dropout.
For Wayne Pearce, the second half has had absolutely everything. Well, I think it may have knocked Wayne out, actually. Because it's taken up by wire. 5 metres short of the 22. It's Grosvenor that slots to dummy half. He goes on the blind side through Munro. Kieran, Jason Kieran, a dummy half. Oh, good solid defence. The ball's gone loose. It's been knocked on both ways. 12-11 in this first quarter final for 88. Scrum feed by Fitzgerald. Good push by Campbelltown. Fitzgerald came off the back, spotted the gap. Fair comment to say, Bill, next try the winner.
Maybe the next scorer. Try, goal, field goal or whatever. It's been a tremendous game of football, and it really hit a highlight in this second half. It's just had everything.
Into the final 5. We thought it'd be a beauty. This first half, well, we had our second thoughts, but from the moment Russell Wire broke the line of the first line of defence from the kick-off for Campbelltown, we knew we were in for a great final 30 minutes, and we've got it. And there's the break by Donnelly. Well, I'm sure, Bill, the fans watching this in Great Britain and New Zealand would be amazed at the standard of football that we've seen in the second half, and we welcome them to our coverage of this first quarter final.
Yes, they'd appreciate why Australia's clawed its way to the top of the international tree in rugby league when we've got boys like this coming through into grade football and then into first grade football, and ultimately they become fully fledged internationals.
Well, from this competition there were 6 of the Kangaroos, or 86 that the fans in Great Britain saw.
Well, that's a very important scrum against the head, and maybe this is the last throw of the dice for Parramatta Marist.
Well, there's Peter Mulholland, the St Gregory's coach. There's the break on the blind side by Warren. And the pressure telling on everyone here at the Parramatta Stadium. Parramatta on the move.
The St Gregs can't afford to get inside the 5 metres here. If they give Baysari a shot for goal, he'll quick it and kick it and snatch the game from
Chris
him.
Ward is telling them to get back the required distance. Morchin, who was on the ground injured just a moment or so ago, takes play to the quarter line on the final tackle. Back it goes for Baysari, the attempted drop goal, touched in flight. Everyone's onside. Here's a try, is it? Yes, it is! And it's Tony Unum. Fortune favours the brave, and that could be the ball game. Look at the fans in support of Parramatta. There's the try scorer, Tony Unum. Let's watch it again.
Well, they say the game's never over to the final whistle. Here it was an attempted field goal. It was touched in flight by St Gregs, but here you can see the scuff up. 2 players went for the ball. There wasn't a call. Noonan had done everything right and following through on it, and all he had to do was drop on the ball, and that's the match.
Well, Bill, I see it, but I still don't believe it. It was an attempted field goal by Baysari. He tried to do the right thing, but there was a mix-up here, a bad mix-up, and Unan, who did exceptionally well to follow up and back up, came up with what a try.
Third try for Parramatta. They've scored 3 tries to 2, and I just wonder if that field goal had gone over, who would have progressed to the semi-finals, because it would have come back to the penalties, and it would have been, in fact, according to our statistician Ray O'Donnell, it would have been Campbelltown.
It would have been St Gregory's Campbelltown on penalties. They were well in front, and that's, you know, fortune favours the brave. That's the way football goes. Sometimes a bounce of a ball. We don't want to write St Greg's off. There are still 2 minutes to go, but heavens above, surely we couldn't have another change. And there's the 2 points added by David Baysari.
Well, what a semi-quarter-final we've had at 17-12, Parramatta's favour over St Gregory's. Into the final minute. Baysari has kicked 2 from 3 and has scored 2 tries and kicked a field goal. Touch judge in, reporting on a replacement. We have Brett Stowers on for Parramatta. There's the kick downfield. And there's the try scorer, Unan. Well, what a quarter-final this has been. Have you been impressed, Wayne Pearce?
I certainly have, David. As a matter of fact, the standard of this match is up to anything I've ever seen in Commonwealth Bank football. I know that's a big statement, but there's been some great players on display out there, and I'm sure there's going to be some tired boys at the end of the match.
Okay, we're into the final countdown. Only seconds remaining. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Parramatta Marist through to the semi-finals of the Commonwealth Bank Cup for 1988. They've scored 3 tries to 2. A tremendous performance, Bill. It was anybody's game, and it's just amazing that it was a touch of the ball in flight that led to Campbelltown's defeat.
David, I've never seen a group of boys or a group of supporters as excited. Unfortunately, on the other end of the coin, you've got to have some disappointment for St Greg's. There are our points. Our player of the series, 1 point to Russell Wire, 2 points to Matthew Munro, and who else? 3 points to David Baysari. A tremendous performance by him, and I think he's a worthy winner, Dave.
Well, a fabulous match. Let's hope that our action from the second quarter-final will bring us much enjoyment. It's between Patrician Brothers Fairfield, last year's champions, against Holy Cross Ride, a traditional success story of the Commonwealth Bank Cup. And we see the Parramatta supporters, led by Chris Warren, going over to applaud their support. And I can tell you, this is tremendous stuff. Have a look at that. And the disappointment of the supporters from Campbelltown. 8 busloads of travel, but Parramatta reigns supreme in this quarter-final. And Campbelltown getting as much support from their people who've come to watch this marvellous quarter-final. That leaves us with a final scoreline of Parramatta Marist High 17 against St Gregory's Campbelltown 12. David Fordham, on behalf of Wayne Pearce and Billy Anderson, we bid you farewell from the Parramatta Stadium until the same time next week.